Hey everyone, Brett from Kitchen Table Commander here. Welcome to my latest series, which thanks to all of you on the socials, I've named Table Manners. I'll be discussing the rules and etiquette of playing Commander with your playgroup. We all have house rules, little changes we've made to the base rules laid down by the Rules Committee, that we feel make our play experience better. They're even encouraged by the Rules Committee, and I quote, Rule number 1, Commander is designed to promote social games of Magic. House rules or fair play exceptions are always encouraged if they result in more fun for the local community. So what house rule is more fitting to start this series off with than the use of unset cards? Let's dive into it. The unsets have always been on the sillier side of the game, poking fun at other cards and generally doing very weird things, sometimes seeming to break the rules of the game itself. These sets may be odd, but they were the first to introduce certain mechanics, like Meld, although it didn't have a name at the time. Most of the time they're just plain wacky, but sometimes you can tell they are R&D's way of testing the waters for new ideas. Unfortunately, because of the generally silly and ridiculous nature of these sets, they are not legal for playing Commander. Or are they? In December of 2017, the third unset was released to the public. Ahead of the release of Unstable, the Rules Committee officially allowed them for playing Commander, from their release date up until the January 2018 banned and restricted announcement. But this announcement came with a caveat. There would be cards that were banned from play due to their nightmarish rules enforcement. This was also accompanied by some cards that people were highly recommended to avoid for similar reasons. Interestingly enough, none of these cards were from Unstable. These were cards like Enter the Dungeon, Mox Lotus, Once More with Feeling, and Richard Garfield. These cards are ridiculous and force your playgroup to scoop in response. The only unstable card that was mentioned specifically was Spike Tournament Grinder, and the only stipulation was that your playgroup agree on her use before the game started. Everything else, including contraptions, was A-okay. So what does that mean for Commander? Well, it means that Unstable was the closest to a regular set that we had ever gotten from an unset, and that none of the cards in the set were deemed broken enough to justify consideration by the Rules Committee. Now, I fully admit that I have a soft spot for Unstable, but hear me out. Unstable cards should be legal in Commander, permanently, at least at the kitchen table. Obviously, there are some cards that are just not going to work. Anything that refers to something or someone outside the game is basically useless. Sacrifice play and side quest are prime examples. When you're playing Commander with friends, how often can you call on someone outside the game or see someone else playing a different silver-bordered game? Not trying to be a rules lawyer here, just being realistic. Now, I'm not saying that every Commander deck should have at least one card from Unstable in it, but what I am saying is this. Have the discussion with your playgroup. Ask the question, what do you think about allowing Unstable in our meta? You might be surprised by the response. I asked the question of my playgroup because I wanted to use Urza, Academy Headmaster, as my commander. Planeswalkers as commanders is for another episode. We discussed his abilities and if they could give me an unfair advantage in the games. We came to the conclusion that the randomness of which ability I got would actually be more of a hindrance to my plays than of benefit. I wouldn't be able to plan which ability to use before I went to use them. I could make a 5/5 flying demon token just as easily as I could deal 3 damage to each creature. You're probably asking why I would want such a disadvantage, and I'll tell you. It's because Urza was going to be the commander of my 5-color Super Friends deck. Who better to be in charge than Urza Academy Headmaster? I call it the Academy, and love every game I've played with it. Every time I cast Urza, the question comes up, what is it going to be this time? No one knows until it happens, but everyone enjoys themselves. Well, that about does it for today, but I'm curious, what are your thoughts on allowing unstable cards in your Commander meta? Would you be interested in using a couple? Do you think your playgroup would allow it? Leave your thoughts in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know the second I upload a new video. Also, if you want to watch me play video games badly, consider subscribing to Kitchen Table Games. That's where I'll be uploading the replays from the Twitch streams. As always, you can find me on Twitter at Kitchen Table Command and on Instagram at Kitchen Table Commander. If you want to support the channel, consider becoming a patron over on our Patreon. I'll leave a link in the description. Speaking of supporting the channel, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Inked Gaming. Thanks to them, you can use coupon code KitchenTable10 at checkout to get 10% off your purchase. And hey, maybe use that code when you're getting the new Kitchen Table Commander playmat. That's right, we got merch. Link in the description. Well, it's been a blast, and we'll see you in the next video.